Hey guys, it's Ara coming to you from my bedroom. So, today I want to talk to you about quarantine life and eating habits. This is actually my first YouTube live, so it may be a little bit awkward for me, but I hope you guys can just all bear with me. So, I've been, I briefly mentioned in my other video that so many people are snacking more, eating more, feeling hungrier more often. And it's hard for them to stay away from their refrigerators. So, why do you think, if you are one of those people, why do you think that that's happening? What is making you eat more? Well, there can be many reasons. So let's go over some of the reasons why people are snacking more during this shutdown. So, not in any particular order. One is basically because you're bored. We have a lot of free time now. Um, this is very rare. We usually don't stay home for this long, for this many days. And so when we are home, not going out much, we can't see our friends, we can't go to work, and we don't have, not much to do at home. We know exactly what's in our fridge and in our pantry because we've been grocery shopping like crazy. So the next thing that we automatically think of is to just grab whatever's in the fridge and in the pantry and just eat to keep yourself company, keep your hands and mouth busy, just have something to do, right? So the next time when you feel like you want to snack on something and you know you shouldn't, ask yourself, am I really hungry? And if the answer is no, and it most likely will be a no, then that is your cue to find other things to do, right? Keep yourself busy with something else. It can be many things. It can be, cleaning the house, reading a book, learning a new skill, go exercise, keep your body moving. Just whatever you can think of that you wanted to do or you need to do, and there's plenty that we can find to do, go ahead and do that instead of snacking. It'll serve you much better than eating. Another thing that keeps us from constantly snacking is that it's our mind's way of suppressing our emotions. So, I think every one of us during this lockdown, we are more stressed, more anxious, frustrated, fearful, scared, concerned. I mean, all kinds of negative emotions are bundled up together, attacking us on a regular basis, right? Many of us don't know when we will go back to work or even have a job. If we can sustain our life with the money that we have left in our bank accounts. I mean, there are so many different reasons why people are feeling more stressed and anxious, right? And also, I hear that a lot of people are feeling more depressed and just having anxiety attacks and stuff like that. So, you know, we're not used to dealing with so many different types of negative emotions all at one time. So the easiest and the quickest thing that anybody can do to make themselves feel better is to just binge on food. And that takes care of several problems. One is an instant gratification, right? You eat, it tastes delicious, it gives you that immediate satisfaction, that pleasure. Your mind is always trying to move you away from pain and towards pleasure. So, eating is really the quickest way to get to that point of feeling pleasure. And then once you are done eating and you feel full, um, because you're full, you're going to want to automatically just relax and do nothing. And it kind of turns off your brain for a little bit there. So it gets you away from pain, right? Feeling those emotions of stress and anger and frustration. So That's another reason why so many people are snacking more and eating more. And usually, when people snack, we don't go for the healthy stuff, right? We don't crave a bowl of salad or we don't crave celery sticks. We usually crave uh, cakes, cupcakes, cookies, um, candy, chips, fry food. We usually call them comfort food, right? So, why is that we always want to eat these junk food whenever we're feeling stressed? Well, that is a form of regression. And what I mean by that is that when we were little, most of us were rewarded with desserts or junk food by our parents or grandparents or even teachers, right? We would get candies for getting good grades or answering the right question or answering correctly on a question. Or if you're feeling bad or sick or hurt, your dad or mom may have taken you out for ice cream or cookies. When you went to go visit your grandma, she might have baked you a nice big delicious cake. And all of those different types of sweets um, made you feel very loved and connected and comforted and secure. And so, even as adults, we carry those memories with us. And so, when we are under stress, when we're feeling sad and down and depressed and discouraged, or even frustrated, we're going to go back craving those the same foods that we ate as children that made us feel better about ourselves, better about the situation, or just completely got rid of those bad emotions as kids. And when we were babies, some of us were nursed and some of us got formula. But either way, both breast milk and formula, they're creamy, they're sweet, they're delicious, they're filling, they're satisfying. And that's exactly what was given to us when we cried. And so, even as babies, and this is when we're in this hypnotic state that we start to download all the information that we get from our environment from ages 0 to 7, right? So, as babies, we cry for whatever the reason. And then our moms or dads or whoever our take care was would come and either change our diapers or give us a bottle or give us the boop, right? So, because we felt that type of nurturing and love and connection through something that's sweet and creamy, again, as adults, we're going to crave those same things when we want to feel better. So, the next time when you crave something like that, whatever your go to food might be, for a lot of people, it's sweets, it's desserts, it's something creamy, cake, cookies, cupcakes, cheesecake, ice cream. I've had several clients who really had a problem with emotional eating, and there were always sugary foods. And for me, it wasn't so much the sugary foods. I didn't grow up with a lot of sweets, but I did have a bad pattern of overeating a particular type of food, which was Korean food. I'm Korean, by the way. And so that's another thing, right? When people are under stress, feeling anxiety, feeling frustrated, feeling scared, um, many people tend to go back to their old patterns, whether that is eating or any other bad habits that you used to have. Some people go back to smoking cigarettes when they quit smoking for a long time. Some people go back to drinking, gambling. I mean, there are all kinds of addictions out there. And why are you getting triggered to go back to your old patterns? Well, for me, when I had this bad pattern of overeating Korean food, anytime I felt discouraged, sad, or depressed, or upset, I really didn't know why. And it was so frustrating for me because I hated overeating. I mean, I would feel so full, but I would just constantly eat anyway. And if you have watched my other videos, I am a hypnotherapist. And so I decided to have a hypnotherapy session with one of my colleagues. And when she regressed me back to my childhood to find the root cause of why I have this bad pattern of overeating Korean food in particular, it just so happens that that's how I felt loved and connected by my mom. So when I was little, and when I was in Korea still, before I moved to the States, um, my parents were very, very poor. We lived in a one-bedroom basement, all four of us. Actually, my dad was working out of town, so it was just me, my brother, and my mom. And we lived in this tiny one-bedroom basement. And so my mom didn't have money to, buy me toys or, buy me pretty clothes or dolls or anything like that. Her main way of expressing love to us was through her cooking. And, she's a great cook. I love her food. But ever since I was little, she would just, cook a lot of good food, and she would feed us and offer us seconds and thirds sometimes. And then I remember when we moved to the States back in 91, my parents were so busy working, trying to make ends meet. And I was not, as a little girl, I was not used to not having my mom around. So, in order for me to feel loved and connected and secure, um, I would just overeat the food that she cooked for us for the day or for the week. And I would have, my share of food and then have my seconds and thirds. And it was sort of a mindless, automatic, involuntary behavior. No matter how full I was, I just kept eating. And from having those regressions in the hypnotherapy session, I come to realize, oh my goodness, that's why every time I feel bad, every time I feel sad or discouraged or upset, I would just want to keep eating because that's what I did as a child, right? And I never thought twice about why I did it or anything like that. So if you notice that you are having these bad patterns coming back to you during this lockdown, then it's really a time for you to sit quietly by yourself and just think to yourself, why am I going back to my old patterns? Whether it is overeating, junking, snacking, smoking, drinking, gambling, whatever old patterns that are coming back to you, you have to figure out why this is happening, and you need to figure out how to just overcome it. And it's coming back to you because you've never faced it directly before when you really needed to. So for me, luckily, I am never able to overeat again because I've had that realization and I've worked on changing, my pattern of thinking through hypnotherapy and all that other stuff. But I do have clients that come to me talking about how, they're snacking more and they're junking more when they have not done that for so long. And every time I take them back to their childhood, it is that same pattern that they had as little kids. I didn't grow up with sweets. Once the quarantine started, I did start to have cravings for like pastries, cream-filled pastries. I don't know why. I do know why. I was just regressing back to, when I was a baby. But, I've eaten it a few times and felt horrible, just physically and mentally. Um, and now, if I do ever crave anything sweet, then I start to make things like chocolate covered strawberries. Now, this chocolate is actually dark chocolate chips sweetened with stevia. So it has no sugar in it. It's dark chocolate. So it's healthier for you, but it still gives you that satisfaction of having that chocolate. And it's sweet. It's sweetened by stevia, so it doesn't have that sugar, blood sugar effects in your body, which is great. And then my husband made a cookie from, I believe it's the same dark chocolate chips sweetened with stevia. And then the cookie part, I think it was a mixture of peanut butter, eggs, and something. I don't know. But it's totally flourless. It's completely healthy. There's no sugar. And you can find so many different great recipes either on Pinterest or just by Googling to make these delicious desserts without including flour, sugar, or anything bad that you're not really supposed to eat a lot of. So if you are struggling to stay away from snacking, just find ways to make a healthier version of it so you don't feel so bad about it when you are eating it. And another thing is to never try so hard to resist the temptation to eat what you want to eat. If you have that craving that is so overwhelming that you can't help it but to eat, go ahead and eat it. Just don't overdo it, right? And the more you resist, it persists. You're going to want it more and more the more you resist it. So just have a little bit of it until you're satisfied and then stop. So have a little bit of self-control there. But, that's basically what I wanted to share with you today. We are definitely less active because we're home more. We're not, leaving our house as much. So it is so important to stay healthy as much as we can and improve our immune system during this scary times, right? So the best thing that you can do is to stay away from sugars and simple carbohydrates, because they do also turn into sugar when it digests in your system, and they all decrease your immune function. So stay active. I talked about that in my other video, and find healthier recipes for the snacks that you do want to eat. And you'll feel good about yourself. You will feel better physically and mentally. And, we'll get through this quarantine all together. And so that's it for today. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video. And again, thank you for watching my first live YouTube video. This has been fun and awkward and uncomfortable, but I'm sure the more I do it, I'll get used to it. And, if you want me to talk about anything when it comes to, mindset, psychology, I'm also a mom. So if you want me to talk about anything to do with parenting, anything, dental related, I'm also a dental hygienist and, been doing that for a long time as well. So whatever you want me to talk about, please leave it in the comments. And I will do my best to share that information as much as I can. And if you have any questions or concerns, also leave a comment and let me know. And I want to do my best to provide as much value as possible during this lockdown. And hopefully I can help you live a healthier life mentally, physically, and emotionally. So thanks for watching, And I will see you guys next time. Bye.